start with sitting tall. Today it would be good. So you surely have a cushion anyway, that will do. Otherwise, a belt maybe as well. We're working this week with the warriors, and we do a little bit of arm work for the warrior one. Okay, good. So sit tall and let your body settle in. Take a few breaths. Let go with each out breath. Let go of impressions from past days or this morning even. Thoughts about the future, and future is always, as you know, the next moment or the time after the session. So let go of these thoughts. Anything that you need to remember will come back afterwards. Bring awareness into your body. Notice how your body feels through the muscles, through the joints. Notice any stiffness that might be there, either due to the season or maybe from yesterday. If we do all of a sudden go back and do more than we have done for a few weeks, then also that induces kind of stiffness or achiness. Notice the strength through your body. So how easy it is for your body to sit tall. It is ease or more effort. Then bring awareness into your breath and observe the flow of your breath and the depth. And when the depth, then think more of the fullness of the breath. So how your body expands with the in-breath and the ability to release and to let go. Then go further and notice how you feel. So you look at the mental quality, and here we always look at the three gunas of balance and a sense of contentment that is independent of what happens, that sattva, or the sense of busyness and urgency as well. Connecting focuses more outwards. Expectations are there that can shift us into feeling stressed or frustrated. That all of that is rajas, the quality of the day, or tamas, where we feel more heavy and more drawn in, but it doesn't have this drawn in sattvic quality of balance. It is more following this heaviness and easily gets into feeling low or feeling stuck. Where we are sort of feeling incapacitated to move on or to do something. But whatever is, observe without judging, without commenting. Svarupaya Namaha. Om Shri Satgurave Namaha. Yogena Chitasya Padena Vacha. Malam Sharayavasya Cha Vaityakena. Yopa Bravaram Monina. Patanjalim Pranjali Ranatosmi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bring your hands on the floor, let them slide. And take a few deep breaths, 3-4 deep breaths, where you feel a sense of lengthening through your back mainly, maybe the sides of your body is coming in, sense of space in areas that might not experience that right now. And with each out breath, let go, shoulders, neck, so these upper spaces that hold really tensions. With your next in-breath, come back up into upright and breathe out. Then turn your chest bone over towards the right side. And with your left hand, lengthen, reach. You want to stay long through your spine. And you want to lower only as much as you can stay long and keep your left hip down. So opening through the left side, deep breaths in, into this space that is open with the out breath. Navel draws closer towards the spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, navel draws in. If you can walk your left hand a little further, then do that. If not, stay where it feels comfortable. One more breath in. And one more breath out. Inhale, come back to center. And over to the left side. Now lengthening through the right side. You notice maybe both sides feel completely different in their ability to lengthen. See whatever is doable, where the opening is. Keep in check with your right hip, right sitting bone, so to keep that low and really lengthen, look down. So your neck is long as well and in line with the rest of the spine. And take one more breath here. With each out breath, navel draws a little more. Inhale, come back up, back to center, exhale. Notice how your torso feels in terms of symmetry. And then with your next in-breath, lift your arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, and take your palms up, and bend a little over to the side. Focus more on this upper space around the shoulder blade, the ribs there to create some space between those. You can look up. That helps more to keep this upper space open on the side. So one more time, if you start off with lengthening through the right, then finish with the left. Inhale back to center and exhale, bring your arms sidewards down and release. Roll through your shoulders. One shoulder at a time, as if you do backstroke, way out arms first. And then next time your right side lifts, then lift the right arm, take it back, come more into twist movements. Structure a little with when you lift the arm, keep the palm facing inwards, then reach high up, rotate the arm out so the palm faces away from you, and then lower back down. So do two of each side, on each side in that structure. So lifting up, palm in. When you come to the highest point, rotating out so the palm faces out, but the movement comes from the shoulder. And one more time, it just brings a little bit more focus on the shoulder joint and its mobility. And yeah, just the mobility. And then stop, shoulders roll again, both at the same time. And go into a twist, so bring your right hand behind you, lengthen through the center. Yeah, so your sitting bones, they are grounded on whatever surface you are, and then you lengthen straight up. Chin lowers to parallel to the floor or a little more if you, till you get this sense of slight opening at the base of the skull. Breathe in, lengthen through the center, breathe out, turn. Inhale, you can come out again if you like, or you stay if that feels comfortable. But think of the midline. So with the out breath, you start, your pelvic floor lifts slightly, your lower tummy draws towards the front of the spine, and then you open sort of from navel upwards over to your right side. Keep the right shoulder drawing down away from the ear. Sense of openness at the right upper chest. One more breath here. With the next in-breath, come back to center, and with the out-breath, bring your left hand behind you. Same alignment here. So long, come from the sitting bones, keep them grounded. And then lengthen and get that sense of lift, which naturally happens as you breathe out. Pelvic floor lifts. And maybe you can use that, lift it a little more, draw the lower tummy in. It's also support for the lower back in these twists, making sure that you stay long through that lower space. Inhale, keep lengthening through the spine, creating space between the individual vertebrae. With the out breath, turn, open into the left upper chest. Next in breath, again, come back to center, exhale. Deep breath in, see if it has impacted your breathing, ability, space, openness. Okay, so from here we go into Kapalabhati. So if you can stay cross-legged, then do that. If you really feel much better with in Vajrasana, then do that. So hand on your lower tummy or navel to have a bit more guidance. In Siddhasana, cross-legged, it is not, you don't have as much mobility and give in the lower abdominal space. So a hand is always a bit more useful. So breathe in. And with the out breath, draw navel close. Inhale. Exhale, drawing in. Inhale, let go. Exhale. One more time. Letting go. And now come into full Kapalabhati or stay at that stage. Inhale. And then with the out breath, start drawing back. Inhale, release. We do 10 on each side, sorry. Bring your right hand onto the floor with your fingers pointing away from you, and you look down to your thumb. Rotate out first, lift your left arm, take it over the top of the head, or if that's too much for the shoulder, maybe the hand on the shoulder, or if that's even too much, the hand as high up towards the underarm as possible. Look down to your right thumb, inhale, and exhale, 10. Inhale, take your left arm up, exhale, take it down. Place on the floor, weight, can take the weight of your upper body, so the upper body leads a little into that. Lift your right arm, rotate it out, take it over. Stay open through the right side. So if you're a bit more experienced with Mula Bandha, you can take Mula Bandha here and breathe in. And exhale, Kapalabhati, 10. Inhale, take your right arm up, exhale, right arm down, come back into center. And then one more where we take the hands at the base of the skull, thumbs, and the index finger mid back, the back of the head, and the middle finger towards the top. Elbows out and back. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Look slightly up. And then breathe in and breathe out, Kapalabhati. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, take them down onto your knees and lean a little in for this holding phase. Inhale, slowly. Exhale, start lifting pelvic floor, draw lower tummy in. Stay long through your torso and the spine. Think of everything moves underneath the rib cage or into the rib cage, base of rib cage. The chin lowers to chest. Again, if you're familiar with Uddiyana Bandha, you can do that. Hold the empty space. Locking in the pranic energy so that it moves into the organs, nourishes them, balances them, keep them healthy. When you need to inhale, slowly release tummy first, then slow in breath and slow out breath. Okay, good. So come onto all fours from here. And we do some little bit of movement with the hips. So circling, right leg first. Try to keep the knee off the floor. Take the heel a bit more towards your buttock. And stay at level through your hands and your left leg. Although the right side is lifted a little, but don't make it too much. Then start to increase the size of your circle. Exhale, bring the knee towards your chest and out, back. And then change side, bring your knee back onto the floor and over to the other side. So the exhale brings the knee to chest and hug a little more in. And then as you move out and back, inhale with that movement. Stay high above the floor with your tummy. Whatever your hips are happy to do. One more. And then bring the knee back onto the floor. Take the knees, hips width apart, and rock from side to side with your entire torso. And the legs, the hips as well. And then stop at center. And with an in-breath, release pelvis forward, lift. We go into cat and cow. Do 5 of those. Elbows bending, really work with the upper body, the space between the shoulder blades, thoracic spine. And with the out breath, when you're rounding, then you can again lift the pelvic floor, draw the tummy in, lower chin towards your collarbones as you look back to your thighs or even to your navel. And with the in-breath, open again through the front and let your back work. So stop after the out breath or with the rounding. With the in breath, come back to center. And we go again into the puppy stretch, but walk your hands first forward. Pelvis rolls a bit more towards the thighs. Then take the outer hands, the outside onto the floor. So the palms facing each other, inner elbows facing each other, and then release down. Chest towards the floor. Inhale and exhale. Keep the hands where they are and move the hips a little back if you need a bit more space, or if there is lots of mobility in the shoulders. And you can go a little further. Then you can do it with that. Adjust with moving the hips slightly back. Hold for another breath. Holding means you work in this with small movements. And if your neck is happy, you can even look a little ahead towards your hands. And then with the next in-breath, come back up onto all fours. Do one more here. Take your right leg out at hip level. Straighten the toes pointing forwards, and we want to go in the thread the needle pose with the arms. So with the in-breath, lift. Focus on the elbow, creating sort of half circle, crescent shape. And take your arm up, reach up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, beyond it. And with the out breath, back of hand on the floor, threading through. Or if this is too low, then you hug yourself. Bring your hand around your chest towards the outside of the rib cage, maybe the shoulder blade, but you look over towards the left side. Inhale to open. And exhale, threading through, lower tummy draws again in. Inhale. And exhale, threading through. And one more time, inhaling, lifting. Exhale to thread through. Inhale, back to center. And with the out breath, sweep your leg back, keep it straight. And lean into your heel. So open through the calf. It's really nice. Opening through the back of the knee to encourage the lymphatic system a bit more to transport the fluids around. So tuck over to the left side. So straighten the leg, toes pointing forwards, and then with the in-breath, lift. And with the out-breath, threading. When you're threading through, then keep the leg really strong. Keep the leg drawing into the hip. And allow this opening over the inner thighs that comes with that movement. Remember that this movement is for the shoulder and comes from the shoulder. So the shoulder blade draws back into space, moving the entire torso. Next out breath is the last. Inhale, bring your hand onto the floor. Exhale, sweep the leg back. Tuck toes under, lean into your left heel, opening through the Achilles, but more so through the calves, the back of the knee. Keep the rest of the body in a sense of level. Yes, through the arms, the pelvis, and then release. Let go. Tuck your toes under, and with an in-breath, move back, lift, and straighten through the legs. Walk the legs up in downward facing dog, walking the legs. Shift from side to side. Okay. Next in-breath, lift your right leg up into 3 legs. And with the out-breath, we step forward. Because we work with Warrior One, so we come from the floor in a little lunge first. You can keep the hands on the floor if you like, and if you find the floor is too low, you can also have the hands on a little stool or a chair, sofa, anything that gives you this ability and the freedom to move forth and back. You can have a cushion underneath your supporting knee. And focus on this forward movement. Forward, releasing through the front of the left hip. Because that's a movement that's really important in the Warrior One. And as you move forward and you stay there, then with the support of the hand, you can take the left heel back to lift the knee off the floor, lengthen through that leg. Hold it for a moment. Keep the right knee drawing in. So always think you want to adjust towards midline. So not allow the knee to splay out, but to keep it in close to your upper arm, right side that is. Think of both legs drawing towards each other, both hips drawing towards each other to activate the pelvis and the strength that we have there. And with the out breath, release back down and maybe take a few circles to the hip. And then with an in-breath, lift hips up, come back into downward facing dog. Lengthen through your torso, through the arms, inner elbows facing the sides. The arms are apart from the hand position, but the rest really is already in that position that we have in Warrior One. So downward facing dog is really good for preparation. Step forward, left side, lift first up into three legs and then step just behind your left hand. And a few times forth and back. Release through the front of the right hip. These movements, you can also take Ujjayi breath. So next time you come forward, stay there, and then really work with the heel. So the heel, right heel draws back, and the knee slides a little with it, a little further back before it lifts off the floor. And then you see both legs, they're hugging more in towards the midline. Lengthen through the back of the right leg and through the front of the right hip. Left knee draws close towards the left upper arm. And see if you can get the sense of really of strength in your legs so that you theoretically could take the hands off the floor. We don't do it right now. And then with the out breath, release the right knee back onto the floor. Strong through the arms. With the in breath, lift the hips, draw back into downward facing dog again. Sway, circle, or stay still, whatever feels good. I think again of the arms, lengthening the whole side of the rib cage lengthens away from the hips, just as we do in Warrior One. So now again, step forward with your right foot, so you can come up into three legs first. And step just behind or on the side of your right hand. Bring your left knee for a moment on the floor and come up with your upper body. So now we go into this high lunge again, what we did yesterday. It is quite challenging. So if you feel it's too much, or you also, some of you might have something there, like I have the window sill here, that can give me a little support, or again, a stool a little higher. So it takes you from the floor, but it gives you still a little bit of support. Hands onto your right knee. And then again, always is the same principle. The left heel draws back, and that lifts the left knee off the floor. So lower down, let your body, so you stay on the balls of your foot, and have your hands firm on your knee. Keep the legs again, what we did earlier when we had the hands on the floor, the legs drawing into the hips. So the hips are squaring and drawing in towards each other. So you're activating these inner thighs, activating the muscles in the pelvic floor, because that really gives strength. Then with the out breath, release down. And bring your hands onto the floor and take a few circles through the hips. We do one more. Again, our first hands on knees, then heels back. Then lift, stay there. Draw legs into the hips. And now take your left arm up, reach high up, but keep the hip drawing down. Keep the right hand on the knee. And with the out breath, bring your arm down, hand onto the floor, both hands onto the floor, and then lift with the in-breath your hips and come into downward facing dog. Notice how both sides feel. It's a strong pose, so always take it how it feels best for you and keep the knee on the floor if that's best. So left leg up, we do the same on the other side. Right knee on the floor and then hands on left knee. So strong. You're rooting down through your left foot and through the ball of the right foot, toes of the right foot. Move the heel away. So eventually your knee needs to come off the floor. And when you're there, then draw both legs into the hip joints and think of the hip joints drawing towards each other. Release a little further down. Keep your right leg straight so the heel draws back. And then with the out breath, release back onto the floor. Bring hands on the floor. Take a few circles with or through the hips, pelvic circles, or moving from side to side. Anything that eases and takes this intensity for a moment. So that we can go on the other side, on the same side, the one step further. So again, hands on knee, left knee, right heel draws back, knee lifts on off the floor, and straighten through the leg. So the leg is really strong, right leg. Legs drawing into the hips, hips drawing towards each other, upper body lift. Come more into upright and then lift your right arm up, reaching up. And you might feel that in your inner thigh, on the right side. Only stay as long as comfortable. Keep the knee on the floor if that is better, if it gives you more sense of strength and control. And then bring your arm down, both arms down with the in-breath, lift hip. Take your leg back, left leg, and lengthen through the sides. Look back to your knees, to your thighs, to your navel. Look in between your hands, roll onto your tiptoes, walk both feet towards your hands, moving the hips up. And then with an in-breath, soften knees, take the arms sideways up. All the way up, overhead. And exhale, forward step. Okay, take a breath. In and out. Everyone is good? Yeah. Okay. Legs are okay. Good. So take your belt or a cushion. We do a bit more with the arms. So do the arm stretches, hold on. If you take a cushion, take an extra cushion for your legs. Because what we need to do in Warrior One is the arms lifting, and it encourages the lower ribs to come a little up and maybe open a bit too much. So we want to draw the lower ribs down towards the pelvis to stay more contained in the tummy area. And we can do that right now with steadying the legs with a cushion, thinking of the ribs drawing down, and then with an in-breath, lifting the arms up. With the out-breath, lower. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lower. So drawing the ribs in to the point, just so that it gives you that support and that sense of being more contained. And lower. Then we take the belt into the right hand. Left hand at the lower back. And move the arms back. But again, keeping that more contained. It doesn't mean that you flatten through the lower back. It just means that you stay a bit more aware of the front of your body. Keep it in check. So the shoulders are working more rather than opening and bending. And then change sides. Left arm up, right arm, lower back area. And notice the difference in both sides, if there's a difference, or if they work equally. And then release one more time, changing. And one more time on the left side. And release. Roll through shoulders. Take your cushion to the side. You might want to keep it closer. We go back down onto the floor. So lift your arms up with an in-breath. Exhale, fold forward. All the way down. Let your head relax. You keep your knees soft, but let your upper body relax. Come into a more relaxed Uttanasana, forward bend, tops of shoulders, your neck, they are all letting go, releasing. Then bring your hands onto the floor, underneath your shoulders or a little further out. Step back, right leg, left leg into downward facing dog. Lengthen. And now after these just few arm movements, notice if anything feels different through the shoulders or how they are now in this position. And they have to bear weight, obviously in downward facing dog. So if they're maybe more happy with that. And again, only observing. Then with an out breath, lower knees straight down. We want to slide forwards into cobra pose. So the hips moving back towards the heels. So yeah, upper body stays in this pose. Then you swing the elbows a little in and then slide forward. Forehead, nose, chin, chest, tummy, untuck your toes and lengthen the heels away from, not the heels, sorry, the toes away from you. Swing the elbows in and with an in-breath, lift up into cobra. Strong through your legs. Long through your upper body. Length more so than height. And with the out breath, lower down. With the in-breath, move back. And we go from here, stay in child pose. Let your head relax down or bring your hands underneath your forehead. We stay here for a couple of breaths. Take a few breaths into the back of your body. And next in-breath, come up into Vajrasana. And then we unfold the legs or cross them, draw them through into Dandasana, so stretched out legs. Can't see me. And here you can sit on a cushion. We go into Janu Shirshasana. So you can use your belt if you like. You can use your cushion again to give you that tilt of the pelvis by folding it into triangle. And then you sit on the corner to get this rolling forwards. Now, one more time, just check, see. And then rotate out your right leg, draw the heel close. Again, use as less arm involvement as possible. Draw the legs in towards each other. Use your belt if you like, around the ball of the foot, and then move forwards. If you don't need a belt, then work with your right hand a little more. Walk it further forwards than the left. Keep the left a little more at knee or calf level. But keep the legs active, drawing in and towards each other. And you want to orientate yourself on the midline. Yeah. So, Diane, come a little more towards your right side with the upper body. So sit a little more straight up. Maybe have a cushion underneath your knee, right knee, so you can be a bit more, yeah, any of that. That's so you can squash that in right close to the hip. That's it. So then you want to think of your left side comes onto the left leg. Yeah. So to be more, because our tendency is often that we move over here, but we want to move straight through the middle. So that the left side of your tummy, left side of the chest, they would be, if you go all the way down there on your leg, your chest bone is on the inside of the leg. Yeah, so you want to be in that straight movement. And because maybe our mind likes it more if we bend a little further forward and then we compromise. So whatever, that's it. Yeah. That feels, does it feel any different in your back? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Take one more deep breath in and a long out breath. So inhale, come back up. Exhale. Let the legs slide out. Then with your next in-breath, rotate out your left leg. Draw the heel close. Support it if it's needed. So think of when you come into, or before even you come into this forward bend, you want to have a sense of centering. Although one leg does something different, but still your pelvis wants to feel centered, and you lengthen up. Think of the beginning when we did this twist. So you want to lengthen away from the sitting bones all the way through the middle and then fold forward. And only go as far as your body is happy to do. Yeah, if it's not much, then that's it. That's fine. You can keep rocking forth and back. That helps a little more. It can be a very intense pose. And work with your tummy. Draw it back with each out breath. Stay long. Keep breathing into these spaces that need that extra length or extra openness. Take 2 more deep breaths. And with the third in-breath, come back up into upright, sit tall. Let your legs slide out. And then we go onto the floor and we do a little floor twist. So make already sure that when you are rolling back, that you have space to bring the arms out to shoulder level, that you have that space around you. But then when you lower down, really use your abdominal muscle. So to roll back. And what we did earlier, pelvic floor engages, lift your lower tummy, draws towards the back. And then you always take it a little further. Pelvis. And when your mid-back comes on the floor, still you're moving slowly and mindfully till you come towards your head, back of head. And then any twist, you all know lots of twists, variations, or any variation that you what your body feels, that's what it needs right now. So it can be a windscreen wiper with your feet staying on the floor, can be knees to chest. From then can be legs straight. Yes, the stretched out leg and the leg that twists, or not the leg twists, but the you know what I mean. That can be straight as well. And if possible, you can start dynamic, but come into a still twist as well, to breathe into the sides, to open, and do 5 deep breaths. Again, use Ujjayi breath to breathe and open. With each out breath, let the shoulders relax further down. Breathe in into the spaces. When you need to change, do that. Inhaling legs to center, exhaling over to the other side. 5 deep breaths. And focus on the sense of release with each out breath. Release. When you've completed your 5 on the second side, the in-breath, so back to center. And then in your own rhythm, come into a short bridge pose. As you come out of the twist, both feet are on the floor. Just bring them close and then take the arms where they feel comfortable on the side or overhead, and then lift. Push the feet or push the floor away with your feet. Lift. And the elbows a little more in and then bend. Yeah, that's it. So come more onto the shoulders. Deep breath, open over the front. We did both today, open over the front of the hips, but also flexing. So to come into also now a sense of symmetry again is nice for the body. Harmonizes and helps it to relax. And with the out breath, you can lower back down. And then if you want to bring your feet up for relaxation, you can do that. If you want to stretch the legs out, you can do that. So if you take the legs up, then your back relaxes and balances itself much more. When you stretch the legs out on the floor, then I would say definitely bring knees to chest beforehand and maybe release the back a little more. But whatever you need, support for the head, always remember to use a cushion because it allows the neck, shoulder area to relax more. And when you're in the pose that you have chosen, then focus on the in-breath, bringing in pranic energy, and the out-breath, letting go of what the body doesn't need anymore. Each in-breath brings pranic energy. With each out breath, as your body releases all what's not needed anymore, then you can also let go consciously of tensions that might still be held into in any area in your body. Release through the entire abdominal area. The tensions that we hold there is more subtle, but they are more subtle, not so easy to notice. So think of releasing through the tummy, through all the organs. Deepen your breath again. Bring awareness back into your body. Move your fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. If you like to stretch out through the arms, the upper body, opening the inner spaces again, do that. And bend your knees, roll onto your side. And from the side, slowly back up into sitting. And when you come back into sitting, check in with your body, with your breath. And we finish with some focused breaths. Breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause, inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Do a couple more in your own pace. Open your eyes a little. Let the gaze drop in front of your body. Remain focused on the inside as you're moving out and navigating through your day. Oh.